Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Moonflower Tarot reading. Today, I'm going to be channeling messages from your higher self on behalf of the collective about past lives or past incarnations that might be reaching out to you, or situations from previous incarnations that are coming up for you to resolve, clear, or embody. This is a timeless reading, so when this needs to find you, I pray it finds you. I have been noticing that we're going through another shakeup in the collective, by the way. This is a beginning of a new cycle, but the beginning and the end kind of is blending together, and the resolution has yet to come. But what it means is that there's a lot of triggers and catalysts happening for the collective to enact change. And for those of you who are drawn to these types of readings now more than ever, maybe some of you have been resonating with spirituality more lately, you have been drawn to it in the past, or you will be more so in the future. But as of time of reading, there has been a major shift in the collective. I'm recording this right before the full moon, and it is springtime, and it is a year one and the year of a fire horse. So there's just a lot of collective significance happening here. So what I am going to focus on is what the majority of this collective and the themes coming up for you, and what you might have been in a previous incarnation, what you've been doing now, and ways to kind of work through it and maybe be the change that the world needs, or at least change your life. So I'm going to get some themes. It might not be very specific for some of you, but it is kind of like this entire collective that is wanting to change to make a better future is being like how do I want to say it? They're being activated. There's a lot of light seeds. I'm hearing star souls, so star seeds, light workers, angelic beings that are being made self-aware within the collective. And now just keep in mind, there are like millions of people, billions of people in the world. It's like 1 out of 10 people is most likely a star seed, an angel warrior, however you want to call it, old souls. But keep in mind, like, old souls and ascended beings are not subservient to the people here, but are meant to serve the collective, to be like almost like parents. to to reparent the collective in a weird way. So if this resonates for you, before I sat down to do the reading and I was picking cards, I was actually tasting like a Reese's peanut butter cup or a Reese's peanut butter egg. It is a week before Easter, so if that resonates with you, some of you just might like chocolate and peanut butter candy. Also seeing peppermint and chamomile tea. If you're tea drinkers out there, anything that really soothes you, if that resonates. I'm seeing the color peach as well. There's this need to kind of really ground, stimulate the sacral chakra as well, solar plexus healing and grounding. I'm also seeing grapefruit or a grape or an orange. So yeah, that's a lot to do with the sacral chakra, creativity, getting rid of self-limiting beliefs. Okay, so the biggest theme, like, full stop, there's a sense of a lack of stability. There's a sense of like what we're seeing basically on a collective soul level. We are being reminded of both generational baggage and karma and trauma that has not been resolved, as well as the systematic need to release the pain that our ancestors held on to, that fueled us for so many generations, that does not serve us. That our society has built this like altar to a lack mentality and suffering, that people need to be in a constant state of chaos to survive, that we need to run on adrenaline, and that's not sustainable. One of the things that actually came up for me this morning when I was meditating is that the need for quick fixes within a person or a body or an illness, whether it is because a person is in a an environment that is not safe for healing, or they are pressured to go out and work for their survival, that body cannot actually heal. So it does not heal. It's like breaking a bone and then it doesn't fully heal or set properly. And what happens when you don't like correctly heal a bone? You get bone growth, you get damage to that bone, you can get infections that are deep within inside of you if you don't take that time for that wound to heal. And our society has been built upon a factory of these deceits and lies that you have to get better quicker, and you take these things, and there's all these things to justify people not being able to take like even sick leave, or just justify people working slave hours when they are sick and tired and in pain. And this is, everyone is feeling this right now. And that's what's been happening for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. There's a group of people who are just like, we're not putting up with this anymore. You didn't let this wound heal. We're trying to heal it. But then another trauma comes in and another soul is wounded. And where does it stop? It stops with us saying, you know what, I'm going to do the work. Because what I'm seeing in this generation, and I'm proud of, like generations even younger than me, they're calling even my generation out on our bullshit. Like there was a lot of people like even my age who were very, very privileged, and they didn't see that, and the generation before me who didn't see that. And even like younger generations are like calling each other out on this BS. Like, listen, we're all working together. Like, you don't have to fight with each other. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we competing? Because that's what our souls are here to kind of help heal. We don't need to fight each other. We need to work together to build something. But our society was built upon that foundation, that platform of needing to be in constant competition for survival. And that's got to go. So a lot of people here feel like you are in situations where you had to prioritize other people over yourself, or alternatively, you are in a position, maybe even a power, where you let yourself, or you let the fame go to your head for some of you. um okay, I'm getting like two things. And the thing is that just because they seem like opposites, they're one and the same. They're two sides of the same coin. And you could be either or you could be both, because there's like more than one karmic loop. You could have been both on the side of the oppressed as well as the oppressor and not know it. And the reason why this is coming up is because you probably needed to be an oppressor, or at least in the, like, for example, if you came from like a really wealthy family and you didn't know any better, like you were just raised in a vacuum and in a bubble, and then you were thrown out into a state with the people who were like in poverty. And now I'm getting I'm getting an example of Princess Jasmine in going out to see how the people are living in Aladdin. And yeah, it's like there was almost this naivety, but it wasn't your fault because you were in a bubble. But once that bubble popped or you saw outside of it, you were kind of like either demanding change and you had no voice, or you refused to see the implications of that bubble you were in and how it hurt others, to which you had to then be reborn in a situation where you were then part of the group of people who were outside of that bubble. You are now on the side of the poor. You are now on the side of those who are being taken advantage by the group of people you were once a part of. And this is something I've seen time and time again with people in my life that I've known, and people when I've been practicing this on my own. One of the main themes is I would often see like both things happening. They were in a position of poverty and they fought other people and didn't realize that that mentality kept them stuck and alone and didn't save them. But I also saw people who came from wealth and were in power, who did not have enough, who felt like they never have enough, whose cup runneth over, and then they demanded to take cups from other people, so they had 10 cups, and then they poured it all out saying, who is going to give me more? And then they ran out, and so they end up here because that's what they were. They were poor of mind and soul, so they end up being reborn as being poor of mind and soul. Now, this might not be you. For some of it, it is, and it's a problem that's been weighing on you lately to make a choice, because it doesn't mean that you are a bad person. It's not nefarious. It's getting you out of the black mindset and changing how you see and value the material world and the people around you, what they're worth. If that is not the case with you, if you were born like if you were like born into power or poverty, you are breaking away from the family that kept you stuck in the mindset either way. like like people's value and worth, like the prosperity gospel, like people who have money are valued more by God, and you might not agree with that, and you didn't agree with it in past lives. You might have been from some place of power, maybe a prince or princess or a high priestess, and they were trying to gatekeep spirituality, because we see that happening. Like only the true believers enter into this temple or church, and it's like, didn't you not learn the lesson of Jonah? and it's like, you do not go out and you don't go to the people who are already saved and know the good word. You go to the people who don't know it and save them. That's not the point of the church. The church is a place of unity, of companionship and commitment to basically enriching the lives of other people. But you might have seen the hypocrisy of either your family, your faith, and that is basically what's happening in society. We are seeing this hypocrisy. We're seeing this evil. It is plain in our face. It is plain as day. Whatever you resonate with, being forced to come out of your poverty mindset and stop fighting each other. It, Okay, so I did actually. So it's funny. I picked up this card as a kind of a clarifier, and it's interesting that all of these cards came in reverse. It's like everything is turning upside down for your soul. Like, and I'm not getting like there's a lot of like bad intentions here. It was just the environment and the way you were raised in was not right for your soul, and it wasn't good for anybody. Um, but you are being kind of put in a position to decide what you want to do with this right now. For some of you, like if you don't identify as male in this life, you might have been maybe, or just say you were the opposite gender in a previous incarnation, or you identify as a different gender than you were assigned at birth, and this is a very, very difficult time for you. And my heart goes out to you, all my love and my prayers to you, and just know that you are safe here and I'm an ally, and no one is here on this platform, at least on my channel, to judge you. You are safe. This might be a particularly difficult time, and now I'm getting this idea of internalized hate. If this isn't like your family putting you in a position where you have to kind of differentiate yourself from it, maybe it is just your own mind and your own gender, even, where you have to choose, do you want to be who you know you are, even against these systems of power who demand you are not that? And breaking free from that by not denying yourself your truth, but also being very smart and aware that the powers that be are not going to like that or accept that, because that's how radical change needs to take place. It feels like it doesn't matter what position you were in, you felt trapped, you felt less than. You might have been a survivor of a collapse, like a fallen regime. Like some of you, I'm seeing ancient Egypt. So if you identify like even as an ancient Egyptian priest or priestess, if you are a scribe, or if you, I'm seeing someone even like painting the, what is it called, holographics on the walls of the tombs. I'm getting the Valley of the King. So there's something to do with your artistry and creation, or your connection to the divine, and understanding like those pillars of faith, pillars of trust, and the balance between the rule of the earthly realm and the rule of the spiritual realm needs to work together. And you're here to bring heaven on earth and help the universe and the rest of our collective decide whether or not we want to continue going in this really bad and dark direction, or if we want to decide to love ourselves truly, unconditionally for who we are, and build our foundation of society on a, a, a platform of trust and unconditional love, acceptance for who you are. And I think there's a lot to do with overcoming shadow. That's the main theme I'm sensing. Yeah, material world stability. You might have been too dependent on the material world because you were afraid of what lies beyond that as well. There might have been a breakdown in your faith. Yeah, okay. For some of you, you might have been like, okay, I'm getting a lot of Christians arriving. I'm also hearing kitchen witch, so you might be in a like herbology, like healing field as well, or trying to get into uh like what do you call it, like not potion making, but it's like making like herbal remedies and that sort of thing, because I specifically saw that and heard that there's a lot of attachments to the material world, something that stands in your way from receiving catharsis, closure, or a lot of past life redemption even, because a lot of this feels like the limitations of yourself. You were not allowed to be true to you. You were not allowed to take your mask off, and there was a lot of indoctrination, which was not your fault. So these walls are being broken down to give you like the initiative to change. Basically, it's like the universe is not forcing you to change; it's forcing you to make a decision. Are you going to do things the same way, or are you going to do it differently? And that's how you break a cycle. And that's the difference. It's not forcing you to make changes. It's giving you an opportunity to choose whether or not you do. And that's the biggest thing that keeps coming up throughout all my readings in the past month as well. But it really is like for an example, if you want to stay stuck in the same dead end job in the same like routines, but it doesn't bring you like a lot of joy, and you might be getting a lot of mixed messages from your intuition, your higher self. A lot of what might be limiting you is that fear. What happens on the other side of this? What do I do in the meantime? There's like this lack of trust in your own inner knowing, and even in God and spirit. Like if you're communicating with spirit, if you're working with angels, and your higher self knows you well, and it's guiding you, and it's sending constant reassurance, is sending you constant reminders, you got to do this to change, you got to break the cycle by doing things differently, and you're like, I don't know how, and then you receive a whole bunch of messages about how to do it. Or do you want to change or not? That is the biggest thing that keeps coming up, and I need to keep mentioning it with all my love. This is for you. And it's funny because I don't think you feel like there's not a lot of anger. There's a lot of like acceptance and realizations. If you need money and stability, like just ask for guidance on how to maintain that while you are seeking another thing, another job, another relationship. What is it that you need, and what can you do in the meantime while you're waiting for it? Now, excuse me, I'm shaking a lot. I just need to take a moment. Sorry, guys, about this. Getting a camera set up is on my to-do list, but right now I'm kind of just prioritize. See, even with me, I'm prioritizing what needs to be done right away and working with what I have in front of me. And so I am going to just use this moment as a story time. Like I've been in this position before. There were so many times where I knew what I needed to do. Like I needed to walk away from a difficult situation. And there were so many signs, there were so many things. I received dreams. I received, like, I was even hearing like music. I was in the state of denial of a thing I needed to do because it was incredibly painful. It was incredibly risky. And I kind of knew I was on my own. But the thing is that the thing I needed to do was for my survival and my mental health and stability, let's say. It was a thing that was going to save my life. I didn't do anything wrong. However, I needed to pay for the consequences of my actions in a situation, hold myself accountable, and do the healing work. But I also had to cut my losses with a group of people that really was at that point in time kind of dangerous and really not going to change. Now, this happened like about 5 or 6 years ago. I'm okay and safe. I'm still recovering. I'm still doing trauma work. I am still holding myself accountable and responsible for my actions or lack thereof when I knew what was happening with me was not safe or good. I was not guaranteed a happy ending. I was not guaranteed support. However, I was given so many opportunities and so many ways to say enough is enough. I'm leaving. And no, I didn't have a lot of help. Yes, I was in a lot of pain. 4 years later, I can sleep at night. And very few times will I wake up in a panic. Very few times will I have as many PTSD episodes, because that's a thing that happens with survivors of very difficult situations. It isn't as bad anymore because I made a choice that saved my life. So what I'm saying to you is also from experience. I've been here. I perpetuated the cycle in my past lives. I know what it's like. And the first wave, like I said in a previous reading, happened during the pandemic because we were put in a isolation. We were seeing a lot of atrocities. We were seeing a lot of shit coming up, and karma being like right in front of us. We were seeing the truth. We were seeing people's true colors and questioning our self-worth and our value based on what we could do for others rather than us being inherently worthy of love and respect and time to heal. That was denied for a lot of people. It did not teach people empathy. It just made it very clear that there are some people who are incapable of empathy and will double down on their suffering rather than choose healing. I don't think you are those people. I think you understand that change needs to happen. It's going to happen inevitably. What I feel in my soul is this calmness that comes after acceptance. And that's what I genuinely really feel is going to bring the most healing and catharsis to the collective. That's what you deserve. You deserve to be at the point where I was even a few days ago. I had a panic attack and thought I was like regressing. And then I did the thing to break my usual pattern. I sat down and I cried, and then I spoke with my angels, and then I processed that, and I feel the lightest I felt in a year. I gave myself permission to acknowledge the pain, let it pass through me, and it didn't stick around. And a year ago, if I had a PTSD panic attack episode, I would have been down and out for a week, sometimes a month. I would have had like little moments, and a lot of it was because I was judging myself. I'm like, you got to stop it now. But I was like not letting it process. I'm not letting it through. And it's a shame. It is a shame that you weren't given that opportunity so long ago. And the universe wants to hand it to you now on a silver platter. And it's kind of about time to let go of your ego, regardless of who you are in the past or what you did. What you deserve now is to acknowledge the pain of the situation and go through the discomfort. The discomfort is not your enemy, it is there to help you reach that point of release. Because how are you going to know if you like something unless you try it? How are you going to know if like the audience wants to see your end product unless they see it? How are you going to know who the right person is for you unless you go out there and face it head on? Face it knowing the risk, knowing your past and acknowledging it, but not letting it hold you back anymore. Because I'm just seeing like a lot of like forward movement that's being halted. And the best answer I have is you do something differently. Do just even one little thing differently, change something in your routine. Like, let's say you wake up at like, oh my gosh, this is a weird example. This might be specific for a few of you, so this is going to probably call you out, maybe. Put in the comments below with all my love. I just heard some of you wake up at 4 a.m. You get up bright early and you go for a 4-mile jog, or you go for like a 10-minute walk. and then you go inside, and then you take a shower, you make a smoothie, and then you get ready for work, and you go about your day. What if you gave yourself time every other morning to just sleep in? You still have your days where you go exercise, absolutely. What if you just took a day off? What if you don't hold yourself to such a high standard and be rigid? What if you just allow yourself to rest? And what if you decide that you're not going to stress yourself before work? Maybe that's the way that you decompress. Maybe that's the way you go into work and it's part of your routine that keeps you sane, but try it something new. If you're someone who wants to walk away from a difficult situation and you're exhausting yourself before you start the day, is that really helping you? Or could that be hurting you? Could you take a shorter walk? Could you try something different? Could you exercise at work? Or could you walk at work, start our walking club? Now, this is very specific, but it's like there's something that's going on in your routine that doesn't serve you, that is actually meant for you to shift, and that will alter things. So that's what I mean. It's like if you're not satisfied for how life is going, or if you want to make a bigger change, there's something that doesn't necessarily need to be sacrificed, but you have to reevaluate how you take care of yourself. Like, because I'm going back to the job thing. It's like, so you're going to work a 9-hour day, but you're getting up so much earlier, and then you're going to work, and then you're doing everybody else's work, or you're getting exhausted and you don't feel appreciated. How is getting up at 4 a.m. and supposedly taking care of yourself by running around that much, and then running around at work, and then coming home exhausted? How is that helping? Is it helping you? Now, I'm not saying that it's not good for you to, like, you shouldn't stop exercising or taking care of your well-being. What I'm saying is, what is the reason why you're running? And how is it affecting your choice or your ability to change when it comes to your work relationship? Because the other thing is like, are you making time to pursue a new goal? Are you making time to find a new job, let's say? You could be using that time to do job searches. You could be asking your boss for shorter hours, or maybe just take a day off. Like, is there another time where you can schedule in your exercise to take care of you more? Because if you're working so hard that the only time you can exercise for you, the only time you have you time is 4 a.m, yeah, that's not going to get you to a better place, because all of your energy is spent. And when you get home, God forbid, you have to then take care of kids or even your spouse. There's no time for you to commit to yourself to change the situation. Sometimes, if you need to change something that drastically, you need to sacrifice something else. And then in that sacrifice, you don't have to get up at 4 a.m, or you do. But then maybe you could work from home. Maybe you get a standing desk. Maybe you could afford to get like more time to yourself and commit to you. So that's one of the biggest examples that's coming up. Bear with me. I'm having a little bit of trouble right now. I'll be okay, but I just want to get another message about, like, is there anything else? I'm hearing commitment phobe. Okay. Yeah, there a lot of foundations are coming down. They're crumbling before you, and it's nothing to be afraid of, but it is a little bit of a leap of faith. I've loss of safety and power in your immediate life. No, I think that's the main theme. That's definitely the main theme in energy. I'm also, do I want to ask about past relationships? No, so a reoccurring theme is like money and financial material world stability. there's a lot of focus not on like even interpersonal relationships, because a lot of what we're seeing now is just everything falling apart. Relationships, the ways we go about our lives, what we value, how we connect ourselves in public with each other, how we connect to each other. A lot of that is breaking down. A lot of that is being reformed. And this is kind of what I'm seeing a lot more. There's a lot of relationships you might have let go of. There's a lot that are falling away. I'm also hearing a lot of you are going to have a lot of like wake up calls and drastic changes happening, like either immediately or in the near future. Because I'm seeing April, May, the month of June and July as well. Like this is a major breaking, pivoting point in our collective and society. So do not be alarmed or do not be afraid. Like everything is going to work out in the end. Everything's going to be fine no matter what happens. You got to stick together. You got to keep going out there and showing up as your true authentic self and being brave in the face of evil and being kind to one another as well. Standing up for each other 100%. So I am going to take a look at the main missions that you have in this lifetime right here that are, yeah, some of you are earth angels, star seeds. Yeah, no, my goodness. Okay, so this is an interesting. Okay, this is beautiful. I want to take a moment to look at this. Okay, wow. Okay, protection and release. And so now the first thing I'm noticing is the angel facing forward and the duck, yeah, back and front. So this is definitely like I'm reading this as a closure of a very long cycle. Some of you are ending both generational karma, trauma wounds, as well as a soul pattern, a soul cycle. This might be the final incarnation you have with a group of people as well. You might be releasing a lot of old karmic connections, ties, or even families while you're releasing these wounds. The other thing you might be doing is meeting a lot of new connections and even soul family members. You've chosen soul family members as well. For those of you who are awakening as angels or starseeds or even starseed angels, because there's a lot of people in the collective who are starseeds, but also angels from those, which is kind of needed right now. And like I've been told there are like millions. There are millions of angel starseeds and light workers right now who are either being activated, reconnecting with their past lives, or even if they're not aware of where they came from, they are acting upon the principles of the heavenly realm, which is to just bring heaven to earth, seed heaven on earth, protect the collective and serve the collective by being mothers and fathers, being safety, being security, being allies, being shelter in the storm. And for those of you who do not necessarily like resonate with that or even agree that that exists, some of you might not. I heard the phrase "you're flawed in your reasoning," and it's like, okay, we need skeptics in the spiritual community. It is based on your own perception and what you feel is right. That is what's most important. What might resonate for you though is that you need to release the trauma wounds and the pains and the connections and fears with these wounds to be able to live a better and freer life, to be peaceful like a duck on the water, to feel that freedom, to feel the emotions, but also the air on your face, that refreshing element of air and water. Like I'm feeling this coolness in my spirit. I'm feeling like the path to enlightenment is a state of bliss, even in a world that is chaotic and in a place of disharmony. And I think a lot of people won't agree on a world of peace and harmony because they are addicted to fear and pain and think, oh, a peaceful world would be just boring if we gave everybody everything they wanted. And it's like, that's not it. It's about balance. It's not like, oh, a world filled with joy would be boring. It's like, but that does not actually justify a world that is pure suffering. No, we do absolutely need to have pain to appreciate the relief, to appreciate wellness. Absolutely. However, we've gone too far into the everybody deserves to suffer and we all need to go away. It's like that's BS. That's not. I have a feeling like there's a lot of change happening and there's a lot of fear here. Whether or not you agree with this or agree with me does not justify harm being put out in the collective. It does not justify the emotional and like physical and verbal abuse of the collective as a whole. Like, we are inherently deserving of punishment. The people who are the most wounded will refuse to see that we all deserve peace. None of us deserve to live in a constant state of pain that is often self-inflicted and is being projected out and inflicted on others. What we're going to see being released now these days is this karmic tie with identifying with the trauma. Do not identify with the wound. Do not attach yourself to the identity of trauma. Free yourself and redefine yourself and rewrite yourself and rewrite a new world. So these are the messages I have for you. I really hope this helps you. I pray this has found you in divine timing. All my love and support to you, dear viewers. Thank you so much.